Welcome back to K&L Farms. I'm Ken. I hope this video finds you well. Been a couple days so far. It's frosted. The season's definitely changed. I themed this garden shed, painting this garden shed, and there was a couple comments that said they'd like to see it featured after it's painted. This building is completely done for this year. I've seen another content creator or other content creators kind of going between the similarities between '08 and now, and they were trying to explain the similarities and what it was like to purchase property in '08. Since I have a considerable amount of experience in that subject matter, the first part of this video will be on what I was doing in '08 and the similarities between now and '08, and the last part of this video, if you'd like to stick around, will just be on the greenhouse, or the remaining portion of the greenhouse, what I have left, because remember, it's been freezing up, so I need to make it, I made it watertight, but I need to get a few more boards put on it so that it's actually airtight, because we've purchased a heating system, which for that, to keep it warm, to expand our growing season. And I'll theme that heating system, or that heater I purchased, in another video. I don't have possession of it yet. I was just in the house there, just briefly, because it got warm a little bit, and I was watching YouTube, just like you watch YouTube, same exact thing. But I was watching a fella, and the fella came out, and he had a thumbnail, and I thought he was over dramatizing the situation, but I think I needed to bring to your attention some clarification in that. In that my previous video, I kind of explained that I remember going to '06 to '08, and this seems very similar to that condition. And he was saying that the whole housing market has crashed, and he was in Austin, Texas. And then he said that the prices had dropped 12%, and he described that as a crash. Now, if you're my age, you remember going in that '06. If you're not my age, then I'll bring it to your attention that, now remember, 22 is when the start of the rise in housing market started, to 24, and houses have gone up 30 to 50%. Going into '06, houses had done the same, but most investors like myself waited until that all came off. They didn't even count a deduction in price until the increase had all come off. So we waited for, targeted Vegas and Bend, Oregon, and Washington State, Florida. All those prices had come off. So it was back to zero, basically zero. And then they fell from the norm price, or the price you would consider norm. They fell 30% below that. So him saying that they come off 12% off of the 50% increase, I thought, well, I got to go shoot a video and try to explain that you don't need to be in a rush to go buy real estate or invest in real estate, or if you're thinking about it. The other thing that he said at one of his videos, he said, well, the beginning of the downturn in the real estate market. Now, if you're just in the beginning, you don't want to go invest, but I was surprised in the fact that he said there's a crash and 12%, the price had dropped 12%. Well, in my way of thinking, I wouldn't even consider it until it fell 60%, because it's been a 30% increase in the market that he's shopping in. Wait for that 30% to drop off, and then after that dropped off to a norm, then target a 15 or 20%. The other thing I might bring to your attention is that when I did it, remember in '06, the bank had caused the bubble, and then the bubble popped in '06, and then taxpayers, myself included, bailed them out with money. So the foreclosures, I targeted foreclosures that were owned by banks, and these banks that had foreclosures, then I would go in and I would lowball that, what their asking price was. Now, some similarity in that the bank caused the crisis and the bank got bailed out, I was going to bring to your attention. It's kind of similar to a political campaign that's being ran right now. They got us in the situation, but now they won't, in fact, go to any portion of ownership into how we got to where we are right now. Okay, so I'm going to show you the area I'm targeting. I got the other side done. This is whatever's remaining, or the last remaining. And once I get a block up here, I'll show you another issue I have, and then later on I'll show you a resolve I have for it, or well, how I'm going to resolve it. Okay, so see this area right here, hole right here. I call these eve boards. I don't know the proper name for it, but that's what I call it. I just take a piece of 2x6. This is a good 2x6 here. I may have to go find me a hammer, but put this up in here now. Before I get up there, I don't know if you can see it. See, there's a 4x4 main column right here, and in the background, I don't know if you can see it either. That fan spinning, that's a solar fan. I put a solar fan, off-grid fan, just in case the grid goes down. We can actually still move air in it. I got a main fan, exhaust fan that's on grid, and I use that that solar fan when the sun's out. I just leave that on. That's why it's spinning in the background. Try and get this block up in here, and see that column. I butt that up against that column just to add structural strength. So I shoot a couple nails in here, a couple nails in here. Remember, you always got to do one block at a time. Kind of set that up there. I'll shoot a couple in here, a couple in here, a couple in this end. But the main thing is I put safety glasses on when I run the gun. And I probably shouldn't have said gun on the video because I'll probably get sanctioned for it, or censored. I put a couple in there. I don't know if I can do this left-handed or not. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Now I got another block, but once you've seen one, you've probably seen them all. They're all pretty much the same thing. But I don't know if you can see it on camera. See that area right there? There's an opening, and their opening, I should have put this block, or this crossover member, I should have put it back here right over the top of this wall, because then I wouldn't have that hole. But I got a hole, or an opening 2 inches. It's pretty constant, 2 inches, and I'll get down and I'll show you the two ways I considered filling that up. And you can leave that there for venting purposes. Okay, you can leave that opening in the top of that eve board for vent purposes if you'd like. But remember, we're trying to put a heat source inside here, and the heat source, we don't want all the heat, just the heater running all the time, so we're trying to seal that up. So if you're going to put a vent, or leave a vent in there, so if you were going to put a vent or leave a vent in there, I would just take some of this wire mesh material, so that birds, you don't want birds flying in there nesting, and we've had a problem with birds actually eating the tomatoes. So you'd put this mesh in there, cut it to length, put some staples in it, or however you want to fasten it on that eve board, and leave it vented. Now on this greenhouse, when I did it, I left the ridge cap vented. Now I'd have to go into this considerable amount of explanation for you to realize how that happens, but the eve on this, I'm sorry, the ridge on this is vented. I've got a vented ridge I put on it. So the way we were going to do it was, we were going to take, this is plastic or Lexan from the pre-existing greenhouse we had that collapsed, and I was just going to take this, put it up there, and I'll strip, it looks like maybe 3 inches off of that, make several of those. I'll take some roofing screws, put roofing screws into that eve board, and then seal that up. Still get light protrude through it. Air won't be able to escape as much. It won't be totally airtight, but more than it is now. And I think that's how we're going to resolve it. Just take some of this material. Remember, on a homestead or a farm, you try and reuse as much as you can, especially as expensive as things are. Now, you've seen me on my channel. I use this nail apparatus. Can't you actually use the word, or don't want to use the word. I'm not promoting the brand in any means. I'm not sponsored by this brand in any means. The only reason I use this, and if you're just starting out, when you go to buy your batteries, your batteries and your battery chargers are terribly expensive, and they're proprietary towards the tools. So once you get a tool, you don't want to switch back, or battery set, you don't want to switch back on brands. Now when we first started out, these were on sale. This brand was cheap, so we own a whole bunch of these batteries. So we just stay with the same brand, so we don't have to buy batteries for every brand that we buy. Now I don't know that that's the best brand or the worst brand. I just know that the batteries dictate which brand of applications, drills, drivers, nail applications. We got portable saws, band saws that are all this same battery brand. So every time we get it, we normally buy it on sale and get a battery with it. So we've already got the chargers in many of these batteries.